welcome back to my vlog. This is another 3-week span of the first week is March 4th through the 8th. I contacted Sergeant Matthew to see if he had heard from Lynette to help me look further into the military social worker. I also watched a little bit more of Lesson 6. I'm still distracted from sign language, but I'm trying to get back on track. It's a little difficult. On the next day, I looked more into jobs I could get for social work. I looked into being a hospice worker, which I don't think I'd enjoy very much. I don't want to help people die, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to help the family and, like, get to know that family and then be there when that person dies and get attached to that person. Like, I just don't think that's something that I could handle. I also looked into being an advocate, which is what my stepmom does. So it's kind of like you deal with the kids who are being abused at home, who have really bad home lives. Their parents are addicts, either drugs or alcohol. Their parents sexually abuse them. I would deal with those kids and prep them for court or something like that. I contacted the boss at the Central Nebraska Children's Advocacy Center, Shannon, and she said that she would get back to me, but it's kind of hard at my age with doing job shadows in the field of social work because I'd have to go through all these background checks and make sure that I'm not gonna spread this word, and it's also a huge confidentiality, so I don't know. We'll see if I'm able to get one. The next day, I looked into different social work jobs and talked to my stepmom more about shadowing her at her work, which is at the Central Nebraska Child Advocacy Center. And then we did not have school for the next 2 days. And then the next week is the March 11th through the 15th. I worked on my college application for housing. I also signed up for admitted student stay at UNO, which is actually this coming weekend, so Saturday the 30th. On the next day, I started to rewatch Lesson 5, hopefully getting back into sign language here soon. But I do remember a lot more stuff than I thought I did. The next day, I sent out 2 emails to people that I am interested in job shadowing. One of the emails went to a hearing impaired specialist at Newell Elementary School, and then the other again went to the director at the CNCAC, which is the Central Nebraska Child Advocacy Center. And then we did not have school the next 2 days again. The next week started on March 18th and went to the 22nd. On Monday, I worked on learning numbers and figured out that I had actually been signing a lot of the numbers wrong. For example, I'd been signing 11 as this, but it's really like this. You like flick your finger, and 12 you flick your finger. It might take me a little bit to like remember how to do the numbers correctly because my mind has memorized the wrong way and like my muscles have memorized it. I also figured out that there's not one specific way to have your palm facing when signing numbers. It is just whatever's more comfortable for you. So I could sign it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but that's not comfortable for me. It's more comfortable to go like this 1, 2, 3, and so on. But the next day, I explored LifePrint's website just a little bit more and discovered that they actually have like a curriculum that I could follow if I'd rather. But it does cost money after I get past lesson 15, and that's not something that I really want to spend money on. Like, I do want to continue sign language throughout my life and use it, but I don't want to spend money on something that I don't even know if it's going to help me in the future because I could be learning these signs wrong because it is through a video rather than face-to-face contact with a deaf person, and I'm not actually learning how to talk to deaf people in my like community area right here because LifePrint is on one of the coasts, and so they have a different like slang than Midwestern people here. So I am learning how they speak it, not how people around here would speak it. I'm still going to continue with the lessons on there, but I don't know if I will continue with them as vigorously because I am planning on taking sign language classes in college, and I definitely feel like I have enough of a basic knowledge to where I could go there and be able to keep up with the class and be able to like further my knowledge. But I don't want to get so far into sign language and be doing it wrong or have to relearn things because it's not how it's done here, if that makes sense. I also figured out that on LifePrint there are tests and quizzes that I'm able to take to help me with fingerspelling. Fingerspelling is one thing that I know is generic for ASL. The alphabet's the exact same for everyone. The letters don't change, the numbers don't change. The only things that could change is like words like cool, because I know in New York it's signed like this and the way I learned it is like this. So I'd rather learn what I need here rather than learn somewhere from one of the coasts. The next day I called Lynette. She is the military social worker. I figured out that I don't know, like, it would be really cool to be a social worker for the military, but I just don't know if that's what I want. It would benefit me in the military to get a substance abuse license because that's something that I would deal with a lot, but sign language would kind of just be like a moot point because everyone has to speak English. And if I were to learn any other language, it would be Spanish. The call with Lynette went really well. I asked her a lot of questions. For example, I asked her her favorite part of the job, which was seeing her client succeed, which I think for most social workers and psychiatrists and counselors, that would be their best or their favorite part. She said her hardest part would be seeing how the parents treat the kids and seeing how the parents blame the kids for everything that's going wrong, because Lynette is a child and family social worker through the military, so she deals with a lot of the parents and the kids. I asked her how she keeps her personal life separate from her work, and a central idea, she said, kind of become numb to what is happening. Like, still acknowledge it, but don't let it get to you as much. Don't let, like, the things that, like, a normal human being, like, if you were to hear a kid getting abused and, like, all that stuff, it would break, like, a normal human being. But with a social worker, you have to be like, okay, well, I have to help this kid deal. I have to, like, do all of this stuff. I can't let it get to me and ruin me inside. So that'll be definitely something I have to work on because I try to be as compassionate as I can be. So she also said learn coping skills and compartmentalize, and also become like a little twisted. I also learned that I have to renew my license for social work every 2 years, which is not as bad as I would think. I don't know what that entitles exactly, but I definitely feel like every 2 years is not horrible, and it's something that I could definitely manage. The next day I kind of had a study day for another class because I had a really big accounting test, so I studied for that more than I focused on something that I should be focusing on in that class. And then on Friday, I looked into scholarships that I can get through UNO, and then I also worked on my application for the Dunlap Scholarship, which is a scholarship that my school offers to their seniors. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.